Hey there, Citrus. Can you hear me? Is it coming through clear enough? Let me know how it's going on. Let me know. I'll just play for a little while. Tell me if you can hear me properly, if the voice is okay. Is the guitar okay? Cool. Everything is good. Awesome. Fantastic. It's so good that you're all on. So good. Awesome. So this is my little Strandberg, as you can see. So what I'm doing today is I'll just set a timer because my phone will die, and last time I tried to do one of these streams my phone died, so I'm going to make sure that that doesn't happen mid-stream. But yeah, as you can see, we're sort of set up. I'm going to start filming some new videos. So I want your input. I want to know what you want to do, although I have up to about like 2,000 videos planned now. I can certainly add in a few of your videos. New Zealand was great. Thank you for asking. I had so much fun. It was really, really cool. We were away for 2 weeks. We sort of did 4 days on the North Island and then down to the South Island, skydiving and hobbiting and snow and all this different stuff. So there'll be lots of videos about that. But currently, I'll just show you because I thought I really haven't showed, you know, this much of my setup before. So when I'm writing new tunes, so at the moment I'll talk about in a second, this is what it sort of looks like, just to show you. So it's a little bit dark, I know it'll be a bit grainy for a second, but it's really cool. It's really sort of relaxed, it's really chilled out, and it means I can spend hours and hours on here because it's really sort of chilled and relaxed. But we'll just chuck on the light so it's not so grainy. So at the moment, it's really cool. Today I'm working on a solo. I'll show you the track that I'm working on for a friend's EP, which is really cool, but I really wanted to find out what videos you all want. So before we get to that, I'll sort of show you just the different, the song. Tell me if you want the volume up. Just working on some different ideas, but the goal is to get that solo completely done today. So I've got a few different ideas. I just want to put it together. Thank you. Thanks, Ali. So it's a friend of mine's EP, so I'll certainly let you know on this channel when the song's coming out, but hopefully we get to shoot a video together. And they actually have Strandbergs as well. Very jealous. They have custom shop 8-string Strandbergs. But I thought, while I've got this guitar out, if there's anything that you want to know about it, certainly let me know. I can talk about that for a little bit. So at the moment, if you're wondering the sort of sounds, like it's a pretty stock standard average sound. It's all right. So it's basically just the guitar straight into the keyboard, and I'm using a really, oh, how does it sound when I finger pick? Maybe I'll plug it into my other amp and I can show you some clean sounds. Let's do that real quick. So the guitar is just plugged straight in, and I'm just using a really cheap emulated software, but the idea is that I can keep the volumes really quiet. And it's still going to sound the same, and then I can put it into an amp later, crank the volume heaps, and then just you know, record it properly. Do you have a question about practicing acoustic guitar? Any good string brands? Yeah, so I've actually done heaps and heaps of different string reviews. The company that I work with all the time, I will grab you some of their strings so you can see which acoustic strings that I use, and then I'll switch over to a clean sound. So I'm grabbing the strings right now. These are the acoustic strings that I use. These are the Diodario strings. They've got the NYXL new steel in them. They're really good. Highly recommended. They last for ages. I used to use Elixirs for a little while, but the coating rubs off, they get weird, and I just prefer the tone of these. And because of the new steel, they last for ages. So highly recommended. Those are the acoustic strings. I'll link them afterwards. Let's switch to a clean sound. Now, someone asked before what pickups. So what's really cool, and I'm really hoping to shoot a video, is that these pickups are Seymour Duncan. There's a Jazz in the neck and a JB, or a Jeff Beck, in the bridge. But same pickups in... Oh, God. Oh, it's so heavy. Same pickups in this beast. Oh, it's locked off. Same pickups in this beast. So it'd be really cool to actually do like an A-B sort of a test. So I might do that. Although my problem with doing A-B tests is I'm not a machine. So I'm going to play, you know, the same riff is going to come out slightly differently every time. So that's going to affect the sound. So the problem with any YouTube pickup demos when you hear A compared to B is it's not going to be played exactly the same each time. So there's that. So yeah, if the person picks a little bit harder on one of the recordings, then it's going to seem like the one pickup is louder or a bit more aggressive or tighter. So A-Bs are a little bit tricky. But what's really cool is I've got some Fishman pickups coming for these guys. I've got the Tosin Abassi, so they're active pickups, so there'll be a battery, and really excited about that. It's basically, if you haven't heard of the Fishman pickups, it's the future, I think, of pickups. It's really cool. They're no longer wound with copper wire. They're actually printed PCB boards. So it's amazing. So it means they can go into the EQ, and if you can imagine, you know, a sonic range, you can sort of chuck in some different stuff, change the sonics. Can you teach us how to sound check properly? I mean delay, overdrive, mid. Oh, right. Yeah, cool. So sound checking and everything, great question. Greetings to Belgium, question is major. Okay, we'll talk about finger strength in 1 second, but before we go back to the other question, so we're going to be doing a lot of live videos next year about, I guess, confidence to do live, just to busk, playing in different gigs and venues and playing for family. That's going to be next year. I'm sorry that it's next year. But I really want to do it properly. So we're going to go out to a proper gig venue. We're going to talk to different people that work in the industry. It's going to be a whole series, and I'm more excited to do that than just like a 5-minute chat about what I think. I think that'd be much better. In terms of finger strength, I'm going to change over the amp because I said I would do that. So let's do that. So I'm going to jump onto my other amp. But in terms of finger strength, let's go for a clean sound. Cool. So in terms of, hey Joseph, in terms of finger strength, honestly, you just have to start sort of practicing. I'll raise my chair up. Hopefully you can see the guitar a little bit better. That's a little bit better. So in terms of finger strength, really, I would, unless you've got a lot of time, I would avoid stuff like this. Oh, sorry that it's super loud. I would avoid like 1 finger, 2 finger, 3 finger, 4 finger, because although that's good for some stuff, just fix the volume. That's better. Don't want to blow your ears away. So although, you know, the 1 fret after each other, all that sort of stuff, although that's good initially, the problem is how often are you going to play some music where it's actually like chromatic like that? It's pretty boring, isn't it? Doesn't get you very far. A great quote from John Petrucci was, music can lead to technique, but technique can't lead to music. So always sort of think about that. Just think about the best way to sort of practice and to build your finger strength is just to play. So I would definitely be learning those 1 finger riffs. If you're past that, then try just playing some major scales. I've got all the major scales videos. So with the major scale videos, you get to use 3 strings per finger, 3 strings, 3 fingers per string. So that would be a way, to practice, and then that way you're actually practicing musically. It's not just, you're not just doing, you know, repetitive. It's like if you were at the gym and you had, you know, bicep weights and you're just lifting weights all the time, over and over again. So yes, you'll get big muscles here, but the rest of your body will fail. Think of that as the same as music. If you were to only practice 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, you'll get awesome at that, but then you won't actually know how to apply it and it won't be musical. So always try and make it musical. So once you've got the scale under your fingertips, try and do something musical, but just keep sort of playing that scale. Find some backing tracks, search for free backing tracks online, and then sort of practice the chords and practice scales over. Is there any good songs you can recommend for learning notes and shapes? Really any, to start with, I've got 2 videos already. I'll try and put all these links in the description. 2 videos already on songs that just use open chords, so like C and D and G and A and A minor. I would start off with those songs because once you learn the chord shapes, then you can actually hear the progression a bit better, and then you can try and play your A minor pentatonic, your C major scale. I learned a lot of your one finger riffs and trying more. Okay, so thank you very much. So there's more one finger riffs coming on very soon. I'm actually going to film one today. Because of everyone's asked for it, we're doing a grunge video. Okay, we've got a few more minutes. So we're doing a grunge video. So it's going to be 10 different grunge songs. So from memory, there's Nirvana, there's going to be Pearl Jam, a few other really, the Melvins, I think, a few other really popular grunge bands. So that's just going to be 10 grunge songs you can play with one finger, and then after that we'll go back into sort of classic rock and AC/DC and stuff like that. I'm really excited, but really soon there's going to be 100 songs you can play with one video, so I'm going to compile them all, so you're just going to have one video of all those different songs. I'm really happy with how that progressed. Now, is there any other video ideas that you want to know? Now is the time to comment, because I can talk about it right now. I'm working on, I've got a month off, as this video suggests. How do you alternate pick? Okay, I'll answer that question. So I've got a month off, so I'm going to be shooting all these videos for the rest of the year. And I'm also going to be finally finishing my EP. It's been 2.5 years in the making, my record. So it's got some really lovely, like nice little melodies that I've been working on for so long. Hey, thank you for the compliment on the Strandberg. Okay, so people ask, that's one of the melodies, so people asking bluesy songs like Tracy Chapman. Yes, there will certainly be blues, so next up in the year, so in the next few months, we're going to be talking about blues. Someone's asking about sheet music. Go to my grade 1 playlist. If you want to learn sheet music, I've already done a whole series on learning sheet music. I'll be revisiting it a little bit this year, but I've already done 100 videos on it, so go to my grade 1 playlist. It's all in there, they're all in order. Tabs on acoustic guitar are the same as the electric. Great question. Yes, guitar tabs, ooh. Electric tabs, acoustic tabs, exactly the same. With finding notes, find videos covering 2 topics. What would you do feeling uninspired with 0 interesting ideas? Okay, great. So, awesome question. We need to do more live videos. This is so much fun for me. Are you guys having a lot of fun? This is really cool. We'll get into reharmonization next year. Next year's more of a jazz modal year. Super excited though. If you've ever wondered about modes and jazz, next year is the year for you. So this year, really blues, pop, rock. Next year, modal stuff, but you'll tie it all in together. Do you have one finger riffs? Yes, so Vikram shooting a one finger riff video today. We'll probably up tomorrow, live I'd say. That's this week's lesson. And then this week there'll also be a video about New Zealand, because, oh man, I had so much fun. Like, I don't know why I haven't been before. It cost me $200 to fly there and fly back. That's like, to put that into perspective, that's like 2 weeks worth of petrol, 2.5 weeks worth of petrol, something like that. So yeah, a lot more jazz coming. Great to be able to talk to your favorite. Oh, thanks, man. Thanks so much for the compliments. Now, someone did ask me, what do you do when you have no inspiration? Now, what do I do when I have no inspiration? It's how I came up with this little melody idea. So I came up with an entire progression, so that's in the last song of the album. How I came up with that was I was just practicing this little melody. And then it just gradually suddenly became a song. Or sometimes even just playing a weird chord shape that you wouldn't normally play. It's so dissonant, isn't it? So that's another song from the album. Hello everyone. So, oh, thank you very much for the compliment. So people always say, I always get this, people say, your YouTube channel should be much bigger than what it is. We've been on YouTube for so many years now, and don't worry, we'll get there. Hello everyone that's joining now. It just takes time, that's all. I really think that my YouTube channel is going to double at the end of the year and then double again at the end of next year. Do you have properly trained in music theory? Yes, so anyone that wants to know music theory, head over to my grade 1 playlist. It's already done. There's so much ear training and reading sheet music, how to play melodies, all of that different stuff. So for anyone that wanting to know, thanks again everyone for checking it out. This is so much fun. So anyone wanting to know about this guitar, it's pretty crazy, isn't it? It's actually really light. It's ridiculously light. It's my camera, one of my cameras, I've got a few cameras, one of my cameras is actually heavier than this entire guitar. It's insane how light it is. So it's hollow. It's not a custom guitar. So these are made over in, this one was designed in Sweden but made in Korea. As you can see, there's no headstock there. Pretty crazy. So it just sort of goes down, and that's where you would sort of tune. And then yeah, so what's really cool is the frets themselves, if you could see, they're not standard straight frets, they're on an angle. So what that means is the thicker strings stay in tune a bit better. So when you really, well, I mean, it's on a clean setting now, but when you really sort of hit in hard, they're going to stay in tune. And bending is a lot easier because the frets are sort of fanned like that. So really cool, just a lot of cool ideas. It's got a tremolo, so it's easy to get that warbling sound, and it goes back into, no, you know what, it's not, these aren't rare at all. They used to be, I guess they're rare in terms of what you might see people play, but you can just order these from any different shops. Okay, alternate picking, sorry that I missed your question before. Yes, okay, in the video I will link the grade 1 playlist below, that is absolutely fine. So we'll talk about alternate picking, music production. Holy moly, so many questions. Okay, yes, we already have note lessons. Thanks so much. Okay, so we're going to do alternate picking questions, and then we'll talk about recording techniques, because I think it's hard sometimes grabbing all the questions. Okay, so how we do... Hey Dale, nice to meet you. So I guess what we do with sort of speed picking is that's something that really I haven't really ever practiced myself, just because, again, I'll come back to that Petrucci quote because I love it so much. Music can lead to technique, but technique can't lead to music. So I love that sort of mindset. You're thinking there that doesn't matter what your chops are, how fast you can play, it's not going to be musical. So really it's trying to have the music sort of first in mind. So with alternate picking, what I would do is I would go really slow. So what alternate picking means is, I'll just show you the pick so you can see, is it means you pick down and then you pick up. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Now there's a lot of different ways to do this. Some people like John Petrucci, like to put their pinky out like that as like an anchor, and then they pick up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, and it's like their wrist there. Some people like to pick with their elbow, so see it's the elbow picking, down, up, and they see the wrist stays straight. I myself like to only do sort of wrist picking. So it's a really small movement, if that makes sense. It's so hard getting this all in frame. So again, I'd be very hesitant for you to do like a 1, 2, 3, 4, because then you just get good at playing that sort of melody and you're never going to really play that in a song. So what I would do is I would just pick a scale, 3-note string scale, and then just go really slowly with a metronome. Start at like 40 beats per minute and just do 1. So down, up, down. Does that make sense? So just go really slow. So I'm exaggerating the movements just so you can see. So down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Does that make sense? But always go with a metronome so that you can actually see, sort of what speed. Metronome is the key. think of it as you go to a gym and you pick up a weight, and you can see that the weight has a number 10 on it, and then you come back the next week and you can pick up a number 12. So you can actually see how far you've grown. So with a metronome, that's what a metronome is. So start with like 40, 50 beats per minute. Try and play every click. So every click that you hear a metronome, if it's 1, 2, 3. Does that make sense? And then it's just a lot of practice. Really, that's all that there is. The best way to get faster or better at anything is just practice. Now, there was a question before about recording. At the end of this sort of series in the next few months, Modern Musician series, there will be some on recording, how I record, how anybody could record. The guitar is super light. It's only like 1 kilo. I don't know what that is. So there'll be more videos on recording and how the cheap sort of setups that you can get just so you can plug your guitar straight into your computer, then how you can start recording that way, or how you can reamp, so you can do what I'm doing, plug into the computer and record, and then go into an amp and mic it up. We'll learn some different mic techniques. All that different stuff is in this series. So the whole point of this Modern Musician series, and the reason why I'm so excited about it, and I've got the next 3 years planned out already, is I'm really excited because it will take someone from not actually knowing what a guitar is to being able to record, write their own music, and essentially tour. Soundcheck video. There will be a soundcheck video not till next year. There's going to be a 1-finger riff video coming out tomorrow. And the other question... Oh, look, I love these live videos. It's just... Can I tell you the scary thing? Okay, Chop Suey. I did get this question before, sorry. Chop Suey, I don't think we can play it in a 1-finger riff scenario because it's in a vastly different tuning from memory. But I'll have another look. I always recommend the little practice Fender amps because you can get them with built-in metronomes, built-in drum loops, different effects. Little Fender amps or little Vox amps. Highly recommended, the ones with the built-in stuff. Now, the other question was about confidence that I saw. Now, confidence is a tricky thing because maybe what I'll do is I'll make a video on 10 different ways that you could help gain confidence, because different methods are going to work for other people. Easiest way to tune your guitar without accessories. Hello from India. So easiest way to tune your guitar without accessories. Well, alright, so everybody has... Oh, I'm recording on my phone, obviously I can't show it to you. Everybody has a phone these days, right? Everyone has a phone with... there's more Metallica riffs coming up in the next sort of month and a half. So there's 1-finger riffs. So everyone has a phone. There's a free app. It's called Guitar Tuner, T-U-N-A. That is a great way of tuning your guitar. So then you don't need to guess, you don't need to listen to anything else, you just put your phone on, press the button, and then you can tune that way. Guitar Tuner, T-U-N-A. Nice to meet you, Joseph, thanks for coming on. We can call you Patty Boy. Of course you can call me Patty Boy, love that, that's great. That's, you know what, I actually really want to work on that. I need to find out a nickname that you guys can call me, and a nickname that I can call you. But if I've got your attention, we're going to close this up in a couple minutes. I reckon 2 more minutes, so thank you so much. So I have this amazing idea, and I'm really, really excited. So I'm going to tell it to you first, because if you're watching this live stream, then you're awesome. So thank you very much for tuning in. What amp for classical music? For classic music, I guess, you know, different. Oh, see you later, Joseph. Thanks for tuning in. The Paddy Army. I love it. We will work on the name. So my idea is that I want to do some live streams where I tell you a different song, just a 4-chord song. So C, G, D, A. Who knows just the first like basic chords like C, G, D, and A? Can you tell me now? That'd be really good feedback actually. I'd really appreciate that. So do you know the chords D, G, C, and A? Or do you know a few of them? Something like that. Okay, we've got a couple. Yep, we've got a few. Yep, awesome, fantastic, great. Okay, awesome. Okay, now, if you don't know those chords, I've got videos on it. Whenever you've got time, check them out. Oh, fantastic. This is really good feedback because what I want to do is, someone was asking about sort of live schedule. Okay, so what we'll do with the live schedule is I want to maybe once a month, something like that, and then we'll see how it goes. Dave, thanks for checking this video out. So what we're going to do is I'm going to make a quick video and it will be a minute long, and it will say, okay, for today's live stream, you need to know these 4 chords, and then what we're going to do is we're going to play a song together. So it'll be myself and maybe Jess and Cass, some other piano player, and then we'll actually play and sing the song with you, and then you grab your guitars at home and you can play along with me and sing along if you know the words, or because you'll already know the song, because I'll tell you in the previous video, you could maybe I'll link the lyrics so you can read the lyrics as you play, something like that. Online jamming, yeah, that's what it's all about. I really want to get into that because I love these live streams, but sometimes it's really tough because you never know who's going to come on. So thank you to each and every one of you. Now, we're going to do 1 more minute. If you've got any questions, bombard me and I'll answer as many as I can. If I don't answer your question, it's just because sometimes they get lost. So go for as many questions as you can. Okay, happy birthday, Subram. Hopefully I'm saying that right. I can't scroll up once I'm live streaming. Bar chord help, okay. What amp for metal music? Alright, so bar chord help, guitar exercises, and classic amps. Okay, they're the 3 questions. Sorry if I missed any of others. I just see comments and then they fade really, really quickly. So, bar chord help. Okay, best thing to do with bar chords is just to take it really, really slow. So I wouldn't actually try all the way at the end of the neck. I wouldn't go for an F. I would actually go to the 5th fret. Okay, so with the 5th fret, what you're trying to do is have your first finger, this one with a little moustache, if you've never seen that before. So you want to lie that finger down. Greetings to everyone that's just tuning in. So what you want to do is you want to lie that finger down on the 5th fret and try and play it so you can hear all the strings. Okay? Now, that's the overall idea. You don't have to get that from the very start, that's fine. Think of the shape that you're doing. It's kind of like an E major shape. So you've got your first finger, then you've got your 3rd finger, you've got your pinky under that, and you've got your 2nd finger under that. Now, this is just a basic bar chord shape. What you want to be doing is just practice that bar chord shape. For now, just try and get 1 string happening. If you can get 1 string sounding, you're doing great. Next time you play, try and get 2. Next time 3. Next time 4. Does that make sense? Each time try and get more and more strings. It just takes time. A lot of people get really frustrated and angry with bar chords. It just takes time. Don't stress. Everyone has the same problem. It's not just you. Talking about amps, what I would get is I would get something like a Fender or a Vox or a Line 6. Something like this. So it has different effects. It's got, I know you can't really see, but it's got clean, crunch, and metal. You just push a button, it brings in the setting. It's got a built-in tuner. It can be powered by battery. Heaps of different companies make these different practice amps. So I've got a video about this actually really soon coming up, so that'll really help. So Line 6, Fender, or Vox. I saw a sliding question. We'll quickly do that one as well. What I would do, this one is, you can think of it as a musical approach or a non-musical approach. So you could start on one, let's say you just pick a random fret, just start on the 1st fret, for example. So slide from the 1st fret to the 2nd fret with your 1st finger. Once you've done that, use your 2nd finger, then your 3rd finger, then your pinky. Does that make sense? Then do the next string. So just do every string. So that's a non-musical approach, but it's something that will just get you used to the sort of strength, I guess. And the other thing you could do is take a scale, just like a C major scale, and slide with 1 finger between each note. Then once you've done that, change finger. Does that make sense? So go down the whole scale. So then you're actually practicing your scales and you're practicing your sliding. And if you do it with each finger, pinky is trickiest to slide. But if you do it with each finger, then you'll just build up strength. How do you pick the right fret when you're playing when there's heaps of movement? Great question. Now I'm so sorry, I've forgotten the original question. I know we had a practice amp question. We had a bar chord question. What was the 3rd question? Can anyone please remind me? I know I said I'd answer 3. I can't remember. I should have written these down. if you can remember the third question, there was a practice amp question. There was exercises. Was it exercises for finger strength? Was that the question, Joseph? Was it technique question? Okay, cool. Exercises. Okay, let's cover this really quickly. Just before my phone dies. More challenging exercises. 15th, 17th, 19th. Okay, so I don't like super specific exercises that you can only do in certain areas, because then again it's all right, but you get sort of limited because you get stuck in one sort of shape in one sort of area. I can't link the grade 1 right now, but I will link the video when it's up online. So what you could do is, if you're after different exercises, so these are exercises, they're not musical, they're just in terms of, you know, just itself being an exercise, is what you could do is try different finger variations and then build up speed. So you're alternate picking, so you're down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, and you're going as fast as you can. So what you can try is different finger patterns that you wouldn't necessarily do. So try one, so your first finger, then your second finger, then jump up a string and then do your third finger and your pinky. And then on the second string, use your first finger and your second finger. And then up a string, your third finger and your pinky. So it's actually quite tricky because you're not used to playing like that. Or try outside inside, which is your first finger, then your pinky, then your second finger, then your third finger. Doesn't sound particularly musical, but the idea is just to think about some different ideas and approaches that you wouldn't normally play. Again, steer clear of the 1, 2, 3, 4, because then you just get used to playing that and you can't really use that. So you can do, or you could try 1, 3, 2, 4. So just think a bit outside the box. So 1, 2, 3, 4 on different strings. Or 1 and pinky, and then inside, outside, inside. Or inside, outside. So just take a bit of a second and work out what's a bit tricky for you, and then make an exercise out of that. As you're an intermediate player, you should start to really analyze your own playing. What helps is actually getting someone to listen or watch you, or even using a mirror or recording yourself and slowing it down and see, ooh, why was that area of my playing tricky? Last question, do you make videos teaching, I missed it. How do you aim to pick really fast? Okay. So I just saw a pick holding question. This is the last one because I want this stream to go up live, and if we go any longer that it'll cut out and we won't make it, the video won't go. So last question, how do I hold a pick? So there's many different ways of holding a pick. So I hold a pick. Can you see in your finger here, your first finger, when you make a hook, can you see how the back of the pick goes in line with the back of your finger? I know that's really tricky to understand. So the back of the pick is sort of rounded, and when you make a hook with your finger, the back of the pick matches the back of the hook. So I put the pick on top, thumb on top, and then rest it in. And my hand's like a closed fist, but it's not tight, like it's loose. There's still room in there. And then, yeah, that's how I hold the pick. Yeah, it's a little bit tricky. Another way, well, that's basically how I hold it. Another way to sort of think about is where the nail is sticking out of your finger. That's where the pick is sticking out. So the pick is like pointing straight forward, just like your nail. And then when you bend it in, you make the hook, and then that hook, the pick goes on the top. It's tricky. I've done a video on it already, maybe on how to hold a pick, and I've done some alternate picking videos. I'll link them below as well. But that's it. Thank you so much for everyone for sticking forward. I can't believe half an hour. That is amazing. I think that is the longest stream ever. So we're going to be, all of you that know that secret information about the online jamming, keep that a secret. Don't tell anyone, because you're awesome. So thank you so much. And we're not going to be doing that for later in the year. I want to build up a big song library. I want to get different musicians to come in with us. So maybe some weeks we'll have a drummer, other weeks maybe a saxophone player and stuff. It's going to be rad. I'm really looking forward to it. Now, someone said, Joseph said, you love grade 1, you're looking forward to grade 2. There will not be a grade 2 because it took me 2 years to do one grade 1, so I just don't have that time, so we're just going to do modern musician stuff from now on, but everything will be in there. Thanks so much for everyone, and I look forward to seeing you soon. One finger riff video up in the next 2 days. Thanks so much, everyone. I'm just going to call you the family because you're an awesome online family. See you all later. Bye.